All right.
You can cancel it.
We're live. What happened to the
Oh,
countdown?
the countdown. Oh my God. We are on a summer break, and I totally forgot about the countdown. I'm sorry, I totally messed it up. And actually, we would have needed the countdown to get my valued colleagues in here, Flo and Marcus, who are using the coffee machine. No, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Yes, sorry about that. I screwed up.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
No worries.
Let's try again. Yay! 302 is back.
Also, next time we'll definitely have the countdown again. I'm drinking Fritz Cola today. A good choice on the Tegernseer. Well done. Drinking Fritz Cola because I'm actually here with the car. So.
Oh, fair enough. Better safe. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm sitting in the right kitchen. I love it. We actually had a big team breakfast this morning because we had a company update. We basically tell everybody in the company everything each month, so everybody knows what we're up to, what's going on, all the numbers and everything. And obviously, all the newbies made a big breakfast, and it was a enormous breakfast. I think it was we could have 3 times the amount of people in here, but it was really cool. I love it.
Amazing. I'm glad these breakfasts are back. Yeah, and we're back. Yes.
Absolutely. Although we got to say there's a little caveat. Next week you're on an offsite again, so this is sort of like the preview teaser for what's about to come. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I'll be at Tegernseer with our sales team. Tegernseer. Home of this wonderful beer.
You're drinking Tegernseer right now, so I think there's a lot where that comes from. Yeah, that should be fun. So keep in mind this again. Nothing next week, but we're here for you today, and obviously all the Fridays after that. And there's a lot we need to talk about. I mean, seriously, and we even haven't caught up in person.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about. And don't worry, if you're watching this, we're not going to talk about LSI keywords, right? We're not going to
Oh my goodness. I was trying to catch up on what's happening because I've not been able to go on Twitter that much this week. And all of a sudden, it's all LSI. And then I found out that a prominent SEO figure has been talking about LSI keywords. They're very important.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why I stay off Twitter. I mean, but it's really weird if you look at the discussion culture. There's no discussion. There's just people piling on.
Of course.
Like this, and there's a lot of people who also hey, be cool to everyone, right? We're a community. We love each other. We are family. And these are the ones that go at this stuff the hardest. So I love it that I don't use Twitter because this is exactly why I don't like it. It's just, and that doesn't help anyone. And keywords is bullshit. And obviously there's also a couple of other things Brian has said before where I'm not with you on this, but 100 SEOs, 101 different opinions. It's all cool. So we're not going to talk about LSI keywords today, just as a disclaimer. But there's other controversy going on, and there was also a lot of buzz on Twitter, and I think this is one of the first topics you have.
Right? Let me see. We're so rusty now. Let me share my screen.
Almost 2 months, right? 6 weeks.
That's true.
Bianca, happy Friday, Izzi, Marcus, happy Friday. Bianca, thanks for helping me with everything. We wouldn't be here without you. Literally, we wouldn't be here without you.
Literally. Yeah. She's awesome.
Did I use it
so let's.
Whatever.
Yes, you did. And yes, let's spill the tea, because coming back from vacation to all of this title drama, was pretty interesting. Well, I've been back for a couple of weeks, so just returning from a Twitter vacation to LSI drama. But previously, the whole title tag debacle. So let's talk very quickly about that. Oh, thank you, Heiko.
Hey, Heiko. Great you are here. We are actually in the Heiko Stammel fan club. We have this German show, the Daily Dose of SEO, and Heiko's also a regular listener. and viewer of this show. It's
Oh,
actually
nice.
edited by Spiegel, like the most reputable magazine in Germany. So our shout out here to Heiko. It's great you're watching.
And actually, so in light of Google rewriting our title tags very frequently and getting it wrong very frequently, they've also updated or provided us with an article explaining why they do this. All of the love going on in the comments. That's great. Send us more love.
And actually, Rüdiger here, Marcus speaking for him, I'm impressed. Yeah, Rüdiger is actually living in London. He was actually giving us a great rundown on everything that happened at Brighton SEO in our daily SEO show. That's really cool. And now he seems to be easily impressed with me speaking in a foreign tongue. I love it. Try my best.
And you do a great job. Rüdiger, did you go to Brighton and did you like it? Yeah. I had serious FOMO, but we're going to talk a little bit later about the Brighton SEO slides. We've done a little recap of our favorite ones.
Absolutely.
So recently, I think even last week, Google posted this kind of disclaimer about why they're doing this. The sort of like, okay, we can do better. I've even highlighted that part as well. So we've further refined our title system, but here are some examples of what we're rewriting. Now, this kind of doesn't match what we've been seeing in the industry, and I think that's kind of why there was a bit of an uproar about it. But there was one that I really wanted to highlight as well that was shown in Cyrus Shepherd's blog, actually. So a really cool rundown of certain ways of beating Google title rewrites. And one of his main examples was the shrug emoji.
That's also one of my favorite examples in this whole title rewriting. Besides that, text collection service from the UK, text avoidance. Oh my God, right?
That was so bad.
That was fun.
Yeah, Her Majesty's Revenue, HMRC. I don't know. I never paid taxes in the UK. I never worked in the UK. I never had a job.
I'm so glad this conversation isn't recorded. So nice.
But it's true. Like, I never had a job in the UK. So I didn't have to worry about that. So we had half of a shrugging emoji because Cyrus found out that there was this bracket issue. Where this is something that Google should have solved themselves, where they're incorrectly truncating when there were brackets involved. And of course, the shrug guy is half bracket. But I hope that now it's been fixed, because as Cyrus put it, this is definitely an oversight from Google. They should have resolved this. So hopefully they have done that now.
And I actually saw a lot of live examples, also from a couple of our customers, which exactly the same, where they basically put something which was in brackets and promoted it to being the main title. Where I thought, I can't imagine any title beginning and ending with a bracket, right? I mean, like, there should be like a general rule. Okay, if it's in a bracket, we're not going to use this in the title, right? Just really weird why stuff like this would happen. Yeah.
Exactly. And the great Dr. Pete of Moz wrote up a study recently, also last week, tackling 8,000 title tag rewrites, because on the Moz blog, they've been publishing articles for quite a while already. So they have a lot of content out there. They had a lot of titles. Also, Dr. Pete likes to create these fun meta titles for the articles that he's writing. So he had like a personal investment as well. So this was a really fun roundup. And I like how he structured it. So he went from where Google got it right. So removing double mentions of the brand name, removing old mentions of SEO Moz, which was their previous brand name, where they got it so shuffling the brand around to be at the end of the title, like after the actual name of the article. But then the most exciting ones are, of course, the ones where Google gets it completely wrong.
With the brackets. That's exactly the brackets. Yeah. Why would that be a good title? Like in what world? I don't know. I don't know.
And those were the ones that fueled everything, and I would, of course, be like, at Right, we didn't have so much of a problem with our titles, but I would be really upset, if we're losing click-through rates because of something that Google has done there. And
we actually gained click-through rates. So what happened with Right, for example, so we had a lot of Right Wiki getting consolidated into Right. Which, all right.
All right.
But there wasn't really anything big. But on the stuff that got rewritten, we actually improved with the CTR. And this is actually a good use case, actually, also for our A/B testing tool.
Yes.
We have a very great German SEO, Johann von Hülsen from Wingman, from Hamburg. And he actually used our A/B testing tool to compare exactly the titles that got changed, because with our A/B testing tool, you can actually also do it retrospectively. So it's like in the past when they've been changed. And so we could basically run an A/B test on something that already happened, actually seeing the results of these title tag changes from Google. So a little bit more elaborate setup, and I think maybe we can do a little guide for other people to actually do the same thing with our A/B testing tool. But I really like the creativity to actually use the A/B testing tool to see the impact of Google rewriting titles and realizing, oh my God, although you would read some of those titles and you'd think, well, I like mine better. Actually, Google got it right and actually increased the CTR in a lot of those too.
Which is hopefully what we're going to see now that they've accepted their problems here. I kind of hoped, and I think a lot of people wish, that they did more testing before rolling it out across so many SERPs for so many queries and pages. But it is what it is. And, guides like what Cyrus and Dr. P have written here, and, the great Lily Ray has been doing tons of research. So now we have more insights into it. But yeah, this was a bit of a panic, to say the least. And so another big topic that also took place while I was on vacation was the end of the page experience update rollout. And interestingly enough, Systrix also did a study recently to prove that Web Vitals have a measurable ranking signal. Just to paste in the TLDR here, but do check out the study there, which is, I think, pretty interesting. Like nothing too significant, but still good to see.
Absolutely. I love this study, and this is actually really, really helpful. And I actually been following with this study, and actually when Systrix started doing this, when Johannes started doing this, he had got a panel with lots of sites that meet the core Web Vitals, and he's actually tracking those in comparison to sites that don't meet core Web Vitals. And he actually could now measure a 3.7% uplift. And for the longest time, there was nothing detectable, right? It was like really nothing really different, and so people were already saying like, oh, look at this page experience update, nothing's happening, right? But now you can see a 3.7% sort of like better ranking for pages that meet the core Web Vital standards, and that is huge. I mean, like obviously you could argue, well, causation isn't really
correlation is not causation.
Oh my God, it's used so often.
It's one way or the other. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, obviously we know this, and it could also mean that pages that actually meet core Web Vitals criteria are also more well maintained, have a team doing stuff, also doing content and like all the SEO legwork, right, that's involved. And so those pages that meet the core Web Vitals requirements might also just be better maintained and therefore also ranking better. But nevertheless, you can see if you get your shit straight, right, you will rank better than pages that doesn't meet the core Web Vital standards. So this is a very important study also for us, because obviously we also, we're trying to advocate our customers, and obviously they also ask, hey, does this really move the needle? Because it takes a lot of time and energy and money, lots of resources to actually get this done. Is it really worth it, right? And now this is exactly something where we can really argue with and really like, hey, there it is, right? And this is just the beginning. This is just starting. Yeah. So get on it now. And so I love this. I love that study from Systrix. By the way, I said that Rüdiger's from London. He's not. He's from Nottingham, just like Robin Hood. Maybe he's Robin Hood. Have you seen Rüdiger and Robin Hood in one room? I've never done that.
Never.
I've never seen that. Never happened. And by the way, he also says, all good, but it's always not a lot of things that should be common sense on Brighton SEO. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Brighton SEO a little bit later. And by the way, also, hi, Jonathan. Happy Friday.
Hi, Jonathan.
For watching on YouTube. Sorry.
Yes, no, it's great. Happy. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to also seeing some studies. I'm sure we can facilitate this as well on showing positive web vitals and negative on incoming clicks and also incoming revenue conversions, user engagement as well. That's like another hugely positive uplift that, better core web vital scores can bring.
Absolutely.
Next up, we always like our search pilot case studies. This one is about adding more internal links to the homepage footer. So this was the control where there was just a handful, actually 30 internal links in the footer, but then they incorporated a new version that contained over 100 internal links. That's kind of a lot, but apparently they were relevant. And they also made minor CSS changes to decrease the font size of them. So that's how they look like side by side. And this had for the desktop version, there was a positive 10% uplift for sessions.
Out of all the pages that got linked to in the footer.
All the pages that got linked to,
way,
yes.
I love the question because they always ask a question first on Twitter to actually have people guess what they would assume how that experiment would turn out. And in this case, they were not asking, will this have an impact? Will this be positive or negative? They said how much of an impact it's going to have. It's like 10%, 20%, whatever. And this is what I also liked about this. So it is already, it is going to have an impact. Internal linking, better internal linking is going to have an impact. It's just, we want to find out how much of an impact it has. And this is also what I like about this, because I'm also a strong advocate for link building, but not external link building, but rather internal link building. I think internal linking is much more important than external linking. Obviously, this is always easy to say if you already have a lot of links, right? If you're a new startup, you might want to build up your authority there first, but obviously if you already have a good chunk of links, Google already trusts you, right? It's much more important to have a good internal linking structure to really tell Google what's important on my site, what's really important. And so it's a great study again that shows the power of internal linking and how this is going to have a lift on all of the pages that you're actually supplying with juice here.
Definitely. Okay, cool. I have nothing else to add there. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the domain is shouldIuseacarousel.com. It's funny. I saw it from Jono. Maybe Jono's watching. Thank you, Jono. This is where I got it from. So I love this, right? You just
it's great.
Should I have a carousel? No, you should not, right? Please don't have a carousel.
It's a great little site to send your designers to, or your internal hippos when they want their content on the homepage. It kind of reminds me of this flow chart I once saw that was like, should I use a QR code? No. But actually, the QR codes have been quite handy over Corona. You know, we I don't know how it is elsewhere because I can't leave the country, but even though I was just in Italy, but like using menus and the check-ins and these kind of things all via QR code. But recently, no, go on. But it's been helpful. Yeah.
So I actually hate menus in restaurants, which I now have to watch on a cell phone. I hate this. There's nothing I hate more. And it's like you have a big menu, and then it's like, oh God, like okay.
Oh.
I hate this, right? I mean, like I rather wash my hands after like I've touched the menu, right? But
fair enough.
I don't want to have it on the mobile phone. It's just annoying.
It is nice having this in front of you and like looking at all this stuff. And I know that QR codes aren't always that accessible, so having an option is always nice. We spoke a bit about Web Vitals before, but recently the web dev team of Chrome have published this really cool resource on resolving Web Vital patterns. Those kind of annoying situations like carousels that if you have to implement it, here's the best way you should do it. For example, with fonts and making sure that you're using self-hosted rather than third-party. But if you ultimately have to use third-party fonts, these are the certain steps you should take in order to not sacrifice on reducing Web Vitals scores. So it's a really, really handy little resource they've created for us.
Absolutely, I love it. And also with very basic things like how to really put an image on a site and stuff like this. And this is really like best cases, this is how it's done, this is how it should be done, right? And you can really point people to this. And again, coming from a world, where there's this anonymous Google guy on the Webmaster World Forum, and you don't really get any reaction from Google, nobody's telling you anything. And now look at what they're doing for webmasters, really super helpful, super deep use cases. I love it. It's a great development for all webmasters.
Yeah, and super easy. I really love the interface of this little drop-down menu. You just scroll down and oh, I need help with this, and they give you the copy and paste code. They also have the videos. So I think a good kind of best practice to look at for these kind of help guides.
Absolutely.
Interesting news from Cloudflare. So regarding their new support for signed exchanges on Google search. So for everyone at home who isn't so sure about what these are yet, I have copied and pasted the notes from the article. So signed exchanges is an open web platform specification Google developed as a way of verifying a cached version of a page, which enables a massively faster delivery of a website from a third party, such as Google itself from its search results page, or from a news aggregator that is linking out to other sites. So this has been discussed a lot in the industry as well. This could be a really good alternative to using things like AMP and all sorts. Yeah, so this is really exciting.
This is huge. I mean, everything what Cloudflare churned out in that Speed Week, what they called it, was really fascinating. But this is a masterpiece. I love this. As you already said, right? This is what Google created it for. This is what they were using for AMP, right? To actually run in the Google cache and being able to do so. And now this basically, you can use this with everything. And obviously, this is a great way, to improve stuff like first contentful paint or whatever, because it's already cached and it's already there.
Yeah.
So this can definitely give a boost to your core Web Vital scores working with something like this. And by the way, since you had the explanation, I loved the explanation they actually gave in that article, where they were using the image of a king who wants to get the word out to his peasants, the population, whatever.
Yeah, the peasants. Yeah.
And so he's sending off the knights, and he actually sort of has a seal on what he gives to the knights, because the knights could change what it says, and then they could basically make up their own stuff, what the king eventually had said. And so you have that seal, and this is actually almost like the same thing, that you can really be trusted. Okay, this cache version, this is really, thanks for pulling this up, it's awesome. This is really from this original source, and this is a huge improvement, because this is something I loved about AMP. Don't let Barry Adams know, right? But this is what I love about AMP. This is really, I think, what a lot of users also like, that you go into the SERPs, you click, it's already there, you swipe, it's already there, right? And this really improves the whole user experience of the whole web. This is not just running with AMP, but basically with any site. So this is great stuff. And the most, the greatest part about it is that this was already possible, right? This was already possible. This wasn't really the problem, although, all right, there's a caveat because you can't use it in Firefox and stuff like this. But nevertheless, this was already doable, but it was very complicated. And what Cloudflare did, what make it really easy, sort of with a one-click kind of
switch
solution
on.
that can do this. And this is the big thing, that you make something which it's already there and it's very useful, but a lot of people are like very anxious about actually doing it because it's quite complicated. And now it's like super easy, like one-click shopping on Amazon. So this is really a fantastic initiative here by Cloudflare.
I really like their initiatives and how they're really fighting for this, making the web a better place. We're also wanting to achieve this. But I remember as well, like this one-click CDN was a game changer for a lot of websites. And I use Cloudflare for my own website, and I wanted to try this out, but I think it's only at the moment like in beta phase, or it's only for...
Maybe you're not paid.
Oh yeah, I don't pay for Cloudflare for my teeny tiny website.
I don't pay for hosting. Who pays for hosting?
I get like 2 visits a month and that's it. So I'm not paying for Cloudflare. But it is fun to play around with, of course. And I really admire them for simplifying this completely.
By the way,
hey,
Tom's
Tom.
also watching on YouTube. Hi, Tom. Thanks for watching. By the way, we got a little bit of problem here in StreamYard with the stats. So I hope the comments work nicely. So if you also just stumble upon our video, please leave a quick hi, because we're just talking into a computer. So it's always nice to know people are listening. As I said, we can't really see the stats here.
I think your dad's watching probably. So hi,
He's
Willie.
always watching. He doesn't understand a word of English, but he is watching. He's a big fan, yeah.
Maybe this is good practice for him. So he's learning, subconsciously. Hello, Willie. Hello. Cool. Okay, yes, great. So Brody Clark, who is awesome, fantastic Australian SEO. He is great in terms of keeping an eye on SERP changes as one of his many skills in SEO. But recently he created this really nice resource where he's posting all the different tests and changes that we're coming across to search appearance and different kinds of snippets. So that's a really good find. Like I didn't know this existed, so you sent it to me today, and it's like, that's amazing. Yeah, very cool.
Helpful. It's super helpful.
Yeah.
Especially like all the tests going on. There's really a new test. Is this something that's already been seen? Is this something? Oh, this is not just a test. This is really going live. So I really love this. And what I also like about this, what I want to point out, is Brody Clark itself. So this is also a guy. I mean, like we're talking about a SEO community with literally thousands of SEOs, being very active and fighting for the limelight, right?
Yeah.
And here you have Brody again, who's like specializing in one thing, and this is SERP features, right? He also found the bubble links. I think you're probably going to have that as well, right? And stuff like this. So he's very active, discovering, talking about, writing about, doing videos about new or tests or whatever SERP features, and this is how like a lot of people know him, a lot of people follow him, right? And this is what I also like. I really want to point out for SEOs out there, like really specialize in something, right? We also had the topic with Suganthan, we both love Suganthan, great guy. Also with this business partner Andy, there's this great keyword research tool, and this is the same thing. They focused on keyword research, right? And this is really what people like. This is what people like remember you by, know you from, right? And so this is a great way to really making a name for himself. And I think Brody is also a great example of this, like really like hitting the scene, and now lots of SEOs following and knowing him because he's like very active in this specific field. So specify and as it's advisable.
Definitely. And it's always great, when you have this passion, like it's so clear that he's really interested in getting to the bottom of these SERP features and these changes and like analyzing it. And I really enjoy reading his articles. And like, this recently, like one refinement was these indented search results as well, like a small thing, but still quite widespread, because now you can see all of the same domains search results very easily. So that was really interesting.
By the way, did you see all like Systrix and a couple of other scraping tools having lots of difficulties with these intended results, because you saw, for example, with Chef Koch, with Pinterest, with lots of sites, you actually saw the visibility like taking a big dip on desktop, nothing on mobile. So people obviously people rely on these kinds of tools, who don't like to use Google Search Console, who rather consult a scraping tool, right? You get a heart attack by seeing like a big dip like this.
Yeah.
But this was actually just due to the fact that these indented results, basically the parser, where they black-hatly scrape the results, the parser couldn't really interpret it the correct way, but obviously they lost visibility because it couldn't be done. It's fixed right now, but we had this in our daily dose of SEO, where we actually exactly saw this happening. Lots of sites having huge dips in desktop traffic, and actually Hans Kronenberg from Chef Koch finding that out, that this is due to this new SERP layout, so to speak, and and it's fixed out. But this was really, a lot of people got big heart attacks. I can
imagine.
Absolutely.
Okay, very interesting. I had no idea. Yeah, cool. But another big SERP feature that Brody has been tracking are these bubble links in feature snippets. So if you're living outside of the US, you've probably not come across these yet. They're only being tested in the US at the moment, apparently. And basically what they are is there's certain highlighted topics going on in the feature snippet. And when you hover over it, you see another kind of feature snippet response within this bubble that then links to the author of that page. So it's referring document, which means there's feature snippets within a featured snippet. So if you're getting this SERP feature that's making you stand out, you could be sharing the clicks with other resources now as well. This is a huge change.
That is really a huge change, right? This is basically links within your content, with your content being displayed, but links being inserted into that content, which it's weird. It's really weird. Oh, and by the way, this reminds me of something. I wanted to send this to you too. I don't know if you've seen this, that I think within the Android Google app, if you would visit a site, if you search for something and then click on through to a site, you would actually get other sites on the top of the app, therefore. And basically you could be on write.com homepage, whatever you Google, right? And then you would have, I don't know, whatever, a competitor of yours could be displayed right in there.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And it's also a test. It's a test, but this is
I don't see it.
I don't know. I mean, it also takes screen space, right? And you basically shown my competitors. I mean, obviously for users, this could be it's a good improvement, because you don't have to jump back to the SERPs, right? You can just go to the next result like this, and they could also be pre-cached. This could have a great surfing experience. But as a brand marketer, it's I don't know. Oh, look who's here, Alexander Breitenbach.
Hey, Brighty.
You should
get back to your vacation.
Yeah, get back to your vacation. What are you doing on your computer? Go offline. Enjoy your vacation.
Yes.
See you on Monday.
But also, with these feature snippets, right? It's funny because that's one way I specialized. So speaking of the specialization, I started giving talks about how businesses can start earning feature snippets and how lucrative they were. This was around 2018, and since then, the attractiveness has really declined, and the potential clicks with it, because there's the deduplication that happened. There were different refinements. It's now also with this, you're sharing the results with other websites. So this is a really interesting topic. Should I still go after these search features? Is it better to not be in them? And that's also something I'm going to talk about at ZeoCom this year. This general SERP snippet optimization topic. How can we do this these days when it's really difficult to prove the benefit of? So I'm interested to dig more into it now that the agenda is live.
I can't wait for SEOCon.
Oh, I know.
SEOCon, big conference in Salzburg. After SMX Munich,
In
probably the
Austria.
second largest German-speaking SEO conference. And we're also very specialized on SEO, no PPC, no affiliate, online media, whatever, just SEO. I love this conference. I mean, like, obviously a very close relationship with that conference, having keynoted it 10 times in a row. But I'm so happy I can lean back this year, not speaking, not having to do anything. Normally, I'm like always already in front of, like, before SEO coming, like, oh my God, so much stuff. I'm like really nervous. And now I can just relax, enjoy the show. I can't wait. Obviously support you. And Bastian Grimm is actually taking over the keynote. So this is going to be fun as well. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to this. And also thank you for Olli and Uschi Hauser, by the way, who have just like a 20th anniversary. They just celebrated the 20th anniversary. Yeah, also just also love from us.
Yes.
They also booked my the Gmachel, so the speaker hotel. So I got the speaker hotel without speaking.
Without being a speaker.
Yeah, I love it.
Lucky.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm so excited. Okay, up next is this article from SEMrush, which I didn't read. But it's by the great Morty Oberstein, so I'm sure it's great. About if core updates are becoming less powerful. Are they becoming less powerful, Marcus? What do you think?
I also didn't read the whole article. I scanned through it. I mean, like,
that's fine.
It was pretty clear what he was saying. So he was basically, you know, they have these sensors. I think it's also SEMrush sensor and stuff like this. So we was basically looking at, you know, the impact a specific update had, and you could actually see that, you know, throughout the years, actually the impact got a little bit flat. But we also got a lot more updates. So I think Google is getting better in incrementally updating that kind of stuff, and not like, you know, back in the day, Florida update, right, where I lost like 99% of my domains, right? And the only one I didn't was like a blogspot, whatever. No, but this is what I mean, right? You don't have these Floridas anymore. You don't have these first Panda, right? The first core update, right, where it's really shaking everything. Really shaking the tree here, and every SEO is falling down, and they're much better at this incremental. But it's an interesting study here from SEMrush. And Steve's probably sensitive.
Hey, Steve.
Thanks for watching.
Waves. I was also wondering if maybe that's because like websites are generally improving, and there's many systems in place that are punishing or, you know, removing websites who are doing the more extreme tactics like spam, etc. And a lot of algorithms work in real time these days, so you don't need to roll out another penguin because it's part of the core algorithms anyway.
Yeah. By the way, Jonathan has the same. They're less powerful but more frequent. What you were just saying. So, by the way, it's interesting that you have the impression that, you know, websites are getting better. I mean, like, obviously this is our bubble, right? So within our bubble, I think this is definitely the case. But, you know, always when you step out of this bubble, I mean, I wouldn't say like in the whole internet there's like the website's getting better. I think there's still a long way to go.
Of course,
absolutely. But I can only get why this is a little bit distorted.
I know we have this like narrow mindset where the people we spend time with usually work on these huge websites or are a bit more savvier when it comes to website development and SEO, etc. But I just think in general, like compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like surely websites are becoming less spammy, or what you find on search at least. Like search is becoming better.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, like, really, go back 20 years, and you could be totally white hat. You wouldn't see the top 10 because everybody was doing black hat, right? So and nothing would happen, right? And so it's like really basically get punished for abiding the rules, right? So in these days, obviously, with Google getting that much better, and also taking the whole like user into account, basically that the user can really like sort of decide what's the best result, what should rank here. And therefore, obviously, we can't apply those spammy tactics anymore. You really got to think about the user. By the way, Rita says maybe core updates have become less powerful because less black hats are using questionable practices.
Although they can't anymore. Yeah,
again, I would say within a bubble, there's not a lot of black hat, but there's still a lot of black hat going on. That is for sure. I mean, like, it's also link building. Not a lot of people talk about link building, right? But this is still a huge industry, right? I mean, like you definitely have links being sold every single day for over $1 million, right? Like on any given day, could be even $10 million, probably.
But now it's like digital PR, right?
Of course.
That's what it's,
We're still talking about black hat practices, whatever you want to call it, right? I don't care. I don't care. Digital PR. Here's money. Get me this link.
Yeah. Oh yes, there was this cool study by Search Engine Journal, another like survey of a lot of SEOs. I think it was around 500, asking them what their clients are most requiring. Oh yeah, this was. Yes, exactly. Here's the TLDR. So it was really interesting to see also like that most SEOs are using keyword rankings as their like KPI that they report on, that the most sought after services are content and keyword strategies and web design, followed by user experience. And a lot of SEO pros agree that their clients believe SEO is an essential part of marketing, but only 39%. I would have hoped for a larger percentage. But yeah, it's generally like a really cool study full with some really nice statistics to also use for yourself.
I actually haven't checked it out. I have noted it for next week's Daily Dose of SEO. So what's the 39%? 39% of SEO pros agree that, I'm sorry, I need glasses.
That's okay.
That believe SEO is a central part of marketing.
Yeah.
What is the other 61% believe?
That their clients, that
it's not essential. As I can live without SEO. I mean, like obviously,
but they're still paying.
It would be a very so Google. Here's my money every single day. Hectic as well. You have deep pockets, right? I mean, like. It's cool, but
maybe they believe other channels are more important. So, apparently, so 28% said that everyone does it, so we have to do it. That's their belief. Interesting. 12% said it's unnecessary, but we have budget to spend.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wait, let me pull this up so you can see it.
Nobody said, really? Who are these 20%?
I can't make the image bigger.
This is going to our sales development representatives, to our SDR team. We got 20% of people saying it's unnecessary, but we got budget to spend. I love it.
Yeah, send them to us.
Oh my God. Oh, it's 12%, but still 12%?
Yeah, 12.
If you have budget to spend, what? I don't know. But maybe really like companies where there's like really not that big of an SEO value. Like, I don't know. Still,
these are the clients. Apparently, that's what the clients are thinking. Yeah.
Just imagine having a client like this. So we're gonna do this, and there's like, I don't know, I don't buy it, but we got budget, so
we got budget. Just sit there.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Wow.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was also quite interesting, seeing the focus services here. Link building is pretty low. I thought that'd be higher.
But again, I think there's a lot of people not really like being honest in that regard, which says it's a content strategy.
Well, do check it out. It's good.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yep. And wait, that's the same slide. This one was from you. This was on Twitter. Tell me more. What is happening?
This is John Henshaw. We love John. Awesome guy. And he actually posted this short video loop where you can actually see this in action. So Google being like really tackling the automotive industry themselves. So if you now search for a specific car model, you will get like the reviews and the different models, and then and also with a price range, and obviously if you click to one of those, you land in a refined search, as you land in another Google search where you can like drill down even more again. But you really see this happening, that they would actually pull like feeds, APIs, whatever, to really like have Angebote, also that they have like offers, inventory.
Yeah.
Right. They obviously probably in the beginning it's going to be free, right? Hey, give us your data, give us your APIs, and it's free. It's free traffic. Who doesn't want it? And then when you're addicted, they hike up the price. Yeah, they learn from the best. I mean, like from drug dealers.
Well, it's also a lot of structured data as well. It's very easy to pull this structured data. Like I remember it from my 6 days. So putting like the car specifications on the pages, and it's like easily Google can take over the car rental industry because there's so much structured data out there. They can just create these kind of feeds and they're already on it.
Like, and it's like cars is exactly one thing that can be perfectly structured or perfectly structured with structured data, right?
Yeah,
it is so perfect. Absolutely.
Like every sort of data or item type is universal across all cars. They all have an engine. They all have a fuel. They all have a different transmission, manual or automatic.
I don't have fuel.
Oh la la! Isn't electricity your fuel?
Electricity, fuel? Well, if you say so, it's cool.
Does your car not need any? Okay.
I was just saying it's cool.
Nice. So yeah, it's really quick and easy for Google to pull this. So it's very like universally available. Now, I feel for Topher here. If he's in the auto industry, but I'm also struggling to see how much of a downgrade is this for auto websites. Like if I'm BMW and the specification information is more accessible for people on the search results, surely that results in more clicks eventually to my website. They can't actually buy the car on the Google SERPs, right? So I don't see how, not yet, of course, but it still means more revenue for the car buyer. Or do you think it's like going to be a question of commission as well coming into play here?
I mean, I see this as like exactly like what happened in Google Shopping, stuff like this, right? In the beginning, it was free.
Yeah.
You have all your shopping results. This could be your car ads.
You
basically integrate them for free. And at one point, they say, well, now I want to, and probably not the CPC, could be also a share, right? Could be also a share of that sold car. It's a nice shopping basket if you buy a car online. So I would definitely see this happening, and obviously this is a big impact on car related magazines and stuff like this. And also it's also due to this fact that if you basically click through, if you dig through, you always like firing up refined searches. It also artificially inflates the volume of car related searches. And as again, you have impressions that you can sell, right? And the auto industry is very like spend heavy. Obviously, they want all the test drives and stuff like this, right? And so I have a possibility to increase the number of searches where I can actually display car-related ads. So it's a win-win, also for Google and for Google. So it's great.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. Next up is Mozilla testing Bing as the default search engine for a 1% of users. And this also got me thinking more around these auctions that browsers have and Google has, in order to fight for the different search engines being displayed or being the default, which is really interesting, actually. But yeah, so this was kind of fun. So 1% of people who download Mozilla will fall into this test where they see Bing in the browser search bar.
Yeah. And the thing behind this is that I think in 2023, this contract they have with Google is
it's running out
for grabs, right? And so
yeah.
with something like this, they can run. I mean, like, I would really want to be in this room, right? Because like just the amount of insight you get from running a test like this, right? Also just on how many, like really search satisfaction, how many refined searches are being fired, what are the ad clicks, right? For example, I could see, oh, look at this, if somebody searches on Bing, they have 2.3 ads that they're clicking per user, and on Google it's just 1.7. So this is going to obviously giving them a lot of fodder for the contract negotiations with Google that are coming up, but also, gives so much interesting insights in what we could do differently. And although it just sounds like 1% of the users, obviously this is still, like, I want to say millions of users, probably correct. But at least 100,000, right? Loads of users, and this is so interesting insights. Also I love it. It's really, really interesting. By the way, Rüdiger says, if you are BMW, you are okay. Also, he's still referring to the car, his car feature. Customer gets the info he's searching for. If you are a car dealer, this might be different, as you might not get the rank you work for, even with local SEO. And just being the devil's advocate, Google might get direct contract to sell like dropship with the manufacturers. Yeah, which is one of the trends anyway, right? And basically, Google would become probably the world's largest car dealership. Right, in a second, right? Super interesting, absolutely.
Sure thing. And regarding this article as well, mentions that maybe we need to start thinking of optimize or SEO for Bing. But
you should always, when you're targeting the US, you should always never neglect Bing.
But is there anything different? Do you have to do different optimizations?
No, it's absolutely the same. And it is, like, also from a search algorithm standpoint, Bing and Google are not far apart. But what really sets Google apart is that Google just has millions and tens of millions of more searches each day, and therefore has the possibility to make more tests, make more refinements to their SERPs. And this is what you actually see with one word queries. There's this blind test people are doing that you have Google and Bing results side by side, and they will think Bing results are better. They will find Bing results better, but will think that these are Google results, which is kind of funny, right? So it would actually have the better result. And you think it's the competitor. But the thing here is that as with one-word queries, obviously Bing is very much a par with Google because these one-word queries also have a lot of search volume. But the more long-tailish it gets, right? Bing might only have like 10 searches a month, while Google has 10,000 of this very long-tailish search, and also being possible, that really refine what's the intent here, what's the best result. And this is really what sets them apart, just the amount of traffic. And this is, again, coming back to this Mozilla deal. So Google doesn't just decide, oh, this is, like very valuable for us from an economical standpoint, but you also have to sandbag against Microsoft, because this is a large, this is a fire hose of search traffic, and therefore also the possibility to make your search engine better. So they might end up with a worse deal here with Microsoft, as with Mozilla, just to be able to sandbag Microsoft to not, get a hand of this incredible source of search traffic.
Yeah, interesting point. I agree. And also, like, to add to that regarding like differences, I think it's also important regarding like your tech stack as well, like making sure that, like, for example, there's a lot maybe technically that Googlebot can perform in terms of, rendering and understanding JavaScript content on your website that maybe BingBot isn't able to do at this stage. So also in terms of like search engine bot accessibility, ensuring that there's complete everything is set up perfectly for Bing as well. Like, I don't know how it is. Yeah. So in terms of as well for structured data, like JSON LD was previously not well understood by Bing, and now it's okay. But things like this to be aware of.
I mean, I would actually assume that Bing is right up par with JavaScript rendering as with Google. I know there's this rumor.
I hope so.
This rumor that actually Bing is actually also crawling with Chrome. They just give it a different user agent. It's just a rumor. I have no confirmation, but it's true.
We should get Fabrice back on the show. Yeah.
What?
We should get Fabrice back on the show and ask him.
He wouldn't say that. I mean, he wouldn't say that.
No.
There's, I am, yeah.
Interesting. Cool. So yeah, recently there was Brighton SEO in person.
In person?
It was in person.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was really sad to not be there, but not so sure about traveling to the UK at the moment. So I'm staying safe for now. But it was so lovely seeing all the people reconnect and get together again. So let's go through some of the slides that we enjoyed. So here, Advanced YouTube SEO Tricks by Itamar. So I really enjoyed this. There were some really insider tips and tricks.
Awesome, right?
Very cool. Yeah.
See, he has this great trick. You've obviously seen this. He has this great trick. If you want to appear in the recommended videos of, for example, a competitor, you just add, for example, he was using SEMrush Live. So he was taking a video from SEMrush Live and added SEMrush Live as a tag, ending up as a recommended video after somebody was watching that SEMrush Live. So this is a great way to piggyback on big brands, getting your video, getting eyeballs of these viewers, because you end up in the recommended list after.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it. Great trick. This is really worth checking out if you're doing YouTube SEO, or if you want to get into YouTube SEO. I don't know shit about YouTube SEO, and so for me these tricks were like, oh, that's pretty smart. Maybe if you're already into it, this is like old news for you, but I found it very, very cool presentation here from Itamar.
Yeah, very cool. Also, this kind of case study around so Dan and his website decommissioned AMP. So this perspective was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have expected a talk like this from Barry Adams, obviously. And although I would have called AMP sucks, whatever. But the great thing in here is, so they basically decommissioned AMP. They basically built it out, and they actually saw a drop, obviously because you had to be an AMP. You had to have AMP for being in the news carousel, right? And they were actually about to turn it back on, right? And then we had, the update where Google now said, no, you don't need AMP anymore, and boom, and this is where it really skyrocketed. So they saw positive effects they really liked, right? But they saw, oh my God, we're not included in these really valuable carousels anymore, and especially I think it was in desktop only. And then that update happened right before they were actually really contemplating switching back. So I love this story. This is a great case study, real life case study again, and the thoughts that go behind it and all the stats before and after. So also very great presentation here. Yeah,
definitely. Also from Sophie at Rise at 7. A really funny and very clear, well thought out presentation on the very annoying topic of hreflang and getting it to work for your website and all the many things that can go wrong in the process. So thank you, Sophie, for that. Also, lots of great memes that I appreciated.
Yeah, as a Sophie really knocked it out of the park. I love it. What a smart presentation. And again, great case study, because you really... what she's trying to figure out why the hreflang doesn't work, and then you have all these different places where it could go wrong and all the stuff she does. And again, for more beginner SEO, this is really a great way to how to go about debugging issues. You see something Google is not doing what you wanted to do, and really how can I debug it? How can I find out why Google is not basically honoring what I'm trying to do here, right? So it's a great story from Sophie. Great presentation, yeah.
A great thought process,
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
2 presentations coming up that I didn't have the chance of looking at or watching yet. So James Brockbank, who's always knocking out great talks on digital PR coverage, making PR coverage work harder for SEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was one of my favorite presentations. I really like this one because what you see, the great thing here is also like sort of like the power of the brand, right? As a really
the brand mentions one. Now I've read it. Yes, I really need to check this out for sure. Yeah.
I love this topic. Something which I strongly believe in.
Yes.
Right. I believe really strongly in this. I also, when people ask me what's the best SEO trick, I always say TV advertisement, right? It's the best thing you can do because you've the most eyeballs and most people are going to search for your brand or your brand and keyword combination. I saw this firsthand. I love it, right? I mean, like obviously it's super expensive, but this is definitely the best way, to do SEO because you're building up your brand, you're building up these brand searches and really getting, as a Google needs you, because people want you. So you make yourself unersetzlich,
that's a new word.
Unersetzbar, also unersetzlich, is it expendable or is it the opposite of expendable?
Is it the opposite? Unexpendable.
Unexpendable. All right, then it's unexpendable.
Maybe.
Again, what learned.
Again, what learned.
Great presentation. This is really cool. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, I love this topic. I'll definitely check it out.
Also got to mention this. Yeah, and also this is also great one. I
Liz
love
here.
One. So inspirational. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I need to check both of them out.
Yeah, and she really shows, obviously great case studies, like where they really knocked it out of the park, but also like how easy it is. Obviously this is not easy in the details, right? But she, as you can really see, just do it, right? And she gives very detailed stats on how much time and money was needed actually to make these kind of pieces and the effect of it, the rankings they gained after this. So this, again, very great case study here. I really enjoyed this presentation. It's really, really good.
Lovely. And also Emma Thompson, which was, I did check out this one. I thought a really good look into the fundamentals, and she really articulated it well of what can go wrong, and a great beginner's guide to grasping this topic very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Super smart. She done this, and it's exactly how the title is, or how to optimize JavaScript without learning JavaScript.
Yeah.
Really great at explaining these essential topics without you really having coding knowledge, right? Great presentation from Emma here, definitely.
Yeah. And also a lot of good tips on performance optimization as well that I thought was very important. So it was hitting lots of different layers as well. Yeah, so really also upset that I wasn't there, but I'm thinking of applying for April for the next Brighton SEO. So I really hope by then things are easier in terms of going and visiting the UK. Yeah,
you should go for it. I love it.
Yeah, I do love Brighton, and then we can maybe travel together with some righties.
No, there's definitely righties going to Brighton SEO, but I think Brighton SEO is not for me.
What about for the pub? This
is exactly because the fun thing was there were so many people hitting me up, hey, are you coming to Brighton as well? Can we party as well? Nobody was talking about the conference. It was always about, at 9:00 we meet in this pub. No, not 9:00 at night. We start at 9:00 in the morning. So and this is just this level.
That's the British way.
Yeah, this level of hardcore networking is just a little bit beyond me these days.
That's okay. That's why
we didn't have Oktoberfest for 2 years, so we are without any practice, right?
That's true.
Drinking with Brits at that level, this is just Champions League, and right now I'm just more in the regional finals kind of thing.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
By the way, Steve Frank says Emma's also a great actress. What a dynamic individual. I even didn't know that she's also an actress.
I think because there is a famous actress called Emma Thompson. They have the same name, but maybe this Emma is also an actress. That would be amazing as well.
That would be cool. Just imagine Brad Pitt being an SEO, right? I mean, like, there's all these cool movies, but you know, when he's like that doesn't do any movies, he's like, you know, fixing his shit, changing the titles on his page, right? I mean, like, wow, Brad Pitt and George Clooney running a private site. How awesome would that be, right?
Sometimes I get these LinkedIn messages from link builders, and it's like a photo of Brad Pitt or a photo of Johnny Depp. Like, do you want to buy high domain authority links? Yes, Johnny Depp.
Of course.
Of course.
Johnny Depp. Why not?
Oh, funny. So this was it for the news, but I do have, yes, I thought I was right. I do have a really exciting kind of proposal that we're working on at the moment that so basically, you know, for us it's so important that we involve our customers and like valued members of the community in creating the wonderful products that we create, if I can say so myself. So we're wanting to have more users in our user involvement program. So that's led by our wonderful user research team. Actually, today was so exciting to see like just how seriously they take all of the feedback and how much they use it. Like, it's really a product built on the needs and challenges of our users. So it's really great to see. So if any of you out there listening and watching would like to get involved in sharing your wishes, like getting sneak peeks of what we're working on and providing your feedback and getting early access to our exciting upcoming features, then please get in touch. You can go to this landing page. Maybe I can share it as a comment. Does that work? Let's see.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And you could just Google it, you know, and find out more and just fill out a quick form, and we'll be in touch as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I also like this initiative, which was actually at the company update. I mean, like, obviously we always had like people, hey, we have this feature, it's almost done, it's in beta, take a look at it, give us some feedback. But it's like as she perfectly said, Johanna said this morning, right? It's always, you don't always have shiny things, but sometimes it's always like a much more earlier stage and that kind of stuff. And there's so much exciting stuff we're working on. And so you really sort of like, you see a lot of stuff which might not even see the light of day, but might be very interesting for you. So definitely want to encourage you as well to check out the user involvement program.
Yes, lovely. Okay, so just a little bit over time, but we're done. We're done today.
It's so quick, you know, flew by so fast. With so many great news to talk about, and we didn't even talk about LSI keywords. Just imagine, you know, just talking about.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to say. Sorry for
we
that.
have to finish on a positive high, on a happy note. Absolutely. We have some sun, a little bit of this like late summer feeling, and it's Friday. Everything's good.
You summed it up most perfectly.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, again, thank you everybody for watching. Next week, actually, Izzi is going to be on an offsite. So we're going to see each other again in 2 weeks. But from that point on, we're going to make it a very regular thing again. Don't worry. Rüdiger saying have a lovely weekend. You have a lovely weekend as well, Rüdiger. Thank you so much for everybody watching, for everybody commenting, to Rüdiger, to Steve, to Jonathan, to another Steve, to Alex, to Tom, Heiko, Bianca, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. And be a part of the user involvement program. Don't forget, that's really cool. And for you, Izzi, I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Now let's do the sign off.
Did we do something in the beginning? Oh,
Yes.
and now we would like to temporarily redirect you from work to
The weekend.
that's
Woo.
us. Oh my God, I totally forgot.
You forgot. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're getting back into it. Bye.
Damn. Awesome. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good one.